What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to No Life Till Metal, and it's time for our second installment of Thrash Metal. Thrash Metal, A through Z, and this is going to be letter B. And we're going to be focusing on thrash metal bands, starting with the letter B. And as with the first one, I'm sticking to mostly more obscure bands. Not completely obscure, you know, a lot of these bands are signed, some of them signed to bigger labels. But, you know, I'm basically staying away in this series from, you know, the Metallicas, the Anthrax, Slayers, Megadeth, everybody knows who those are. And I'm sticking to some of the more obscure bands. So, gonna get right into it right away. Gonna start off with a couple of bands off of SANITY Records out of Ireland. Now, SANITY is a small label, been around for about 2 or 3 years now, and they're just releasing a ton of speed and thrash metal. And there's two great bands that were just released in recent years on SANITY Records, and the first one I'm going to show is Beast. This is just some raw, biting thrash metal. I'm going to say very influenced by the early German Teutonic scene. And this one actually was kind of cool. It came with one of those little, you know, drink things, cozies, coasters, whatever you want to call it, as well as a sticker of the front cover, which is sitting in the front of the CD. So very cool. You know, I always like getting extra stuff. And then here's the actual cover itself. And again, on SANITY Records, just straightforward thrash metal. And rather than sit here and try and give you descriptives, I'm just going to play a little quick clip of it right now.
Walking the gallon streets, I'm the king in fear. In the street, showing off my asteroid muscle. I'm the one who killed HANGOVER.
So there you have it. That's Beast on SANITY Records. Also on SANITY Records, this is oh, I misplaced it. Hang on a second. Give me 5 seconds. I'll find it. There it is. It was out of place. This is oh, cracked my case. Bummer. This is BIOTOXIC Warfare. This is a Greek band with some slight, not death metal, but with some slight death metal influences. The occasional blast beats, some growly vocals, but mostly just pure thrash metal. Again, this is a Greek band, and this is a 2015 release, once again on SANITY Records. Highly recommend the label. Check them out. They release all CDs and digital media, but I don't believe they have any vinyl yet. But just a great label, highly worth checking into. They release quality products. So there you go, 2 thrash metal bands from SANITY Records, and one of them, just go ahead and throw another quick clip in of BIOTOXIC Warfare off of LOBOTOMIZED.
Through the land of civil war, soulless bodies of my friends are lying on the floor. Left to die unless my face is starting to take control.
So there you go. That's a little bit of BIOTOXIC Warfare. Continuing on with the B's. This is, let's see, where we're going to go next. I just got a pile of CDs here, so we'll just kind of go through them as I pick them up. This is another newer band. New wave of thrash metal band. This is Detroit's BATTLECROSS. And I picked this album up on the recommendation of somebody through the Heart of Metal board, and I really liked it, but it didn't like bowl me over when I first heard it. The band describes itself as blue collar thrash, and it might be blue collar thrash. To me, blue collar thrash is more simplistic, you know, straightforward thrash metal. I don't know. I'm not even sure who I would call blue collar thrash. So anyhow. But this is a bit more extreme, especially in the vocals. Very, very raw, heavy vocals, which is one of the things I like about, you know, thrash metal and traditional heavy metal is you can have 2 different thrash bands, 2 totally different style of vocalists. You know, you can have the John Cyrus style vocals of more the Jeff Tate-ish style vocals in thrash metal, Joey Belladonna kind of vocals, and you could switch all the way over and have almost death metalish vocals, which you kind of get in Battlecross. And that's one of the reasons I like heavy metal and thrash metal. There's that variety of styles and vocalists, unlike all the metalcore bands and then deathcore bands, all this crap that we have now, where every single vocalist sounds like they're the exact same vocalist. There's a lot of variety here. And Detroit's blue collar thrashers, Blue Cross, are definitely one of your more extreme thrash metal bands. They are metal blade bands, and I've seen these guys opening up for, let's see, it was 3 Aces of Blood and, yeah, 3 Aces of Blood, and I'm trying to remember who the main headliner was because I saw 2 different shows that same week. I'm pretty sure it was Death Angel. So 3 Aces of Blood and Death Angel, and when I saw these guys, I was really impressed with them, and I kind of gained a whole new respect for their sound. And this is their first album. This copy does have to be signed by the entire band. I met the band after their performance, talked to them, told them how impressed I was, and I don't know if you can see inside the case there, but there's also an autographed guitar pick that one of the guitar players gave me, so very cool, good stuff. Unfortunately, if you want to check these guys out, just look for them on YouTube. I don't want to throw a clip in here. It's Metal Blade release, and I will get a copyright strike, so we're not going to include them. Right on. All right, next up we have another band that's kind of on the extreme end of thrash metal. This band also being from Greece, another Greece band. This is BioTOXIC, and I absolutely love this CD. I heard these guys on YouTube, was just searching for thrash bands one day. I think it was like 2-3 years ago. I can't remember what year this came out. Should have looked that up before I started the video. 2012, so yeah, it was a few years ago. And just thought these guys were great. The musicians definitely studied at the Holt School of Thrash Metal. You know that style of Exodus dual guitar playing, fantastic. But the vocals shrill, heavy, almost black metalish. Black metal tends to put a bad taste in some people's minds. Give it a listen before you judge it. Very, very good band. And it has lots of gang vocals too, which is a bit odd. You had a lot of gang vocals in the '80s stuff. Bands like Testament and Anthrax and all those early bands. Death Angel, had them kind of gang shouts, which I love. And they mix those clean gang shouts with the shrill lead vocals, and it works really well. And the name of the album is called Ear Piercing Thrash. So you kind of get your, and then of course you got the cover here of a bunch of thrash metal zombie looking dudes getting their eardrums destroyed by the band on stage. So I mean, that's kind of what you get with this band. They know how to write good hooks. They know how to write good thrash. Highly recommend this band. Check them out. And I'm going to give this one a shot. I'm going to put a little clip of BioTOXIC. So there you go. There's some BioTOXIC, like I said. Shrill vocals, great thrash metal band. Alright, next up. Some of these bands have multiple releases out, and most cases I'm only going to show 1 or 2 by the band. And that's the case with this one. This is Bonded by Blood from California. Obviously got their name from the classic Exodus album. This particular album is their 3rd album from 2012, I believe. And it featured a new vocalist and a new attitude. I really thought the first 2 albums were good, but a little bit generic in that new wave of thrash metal sound. It kind of was Exodus worship. It was almost speed for speed's sake. Whereas on this album, they really managed to gain a. They kept the speed, they kept the aggression, but they added hooks, and that's what I really like about this release. New vocalist name, I wrote it down here, Mario Gonzalez, who reminds me of Russ Anderson from. I'm really having a hard time talking today. Really reminds me of Russ Anderson from Forbidden, and yeah, it's a good album. Then there's a cover song on here too. Let's see if I can remember the name of the song. "Killing Is the Name," which was a Rage Against the Angels song. Rage Against the Angels. Rage of Angels is the band. It's called Rage Against the Machine. A really odd choice for a band of this style. but a really good song. Of course, Rage Against the Machine being kind of that rapcore style, but Bonded by Blood does a cool version of it. This is a fantastic album. Even if you've heard the first couple and didn't like it, I recommend giving this one a shot because you may dig it. Like I said, third album from California-based Bonded by Blood. These guys are on Earache. Do I dare put a clip in? Why not? Let's live on the edge. So there you go, a little Bonded by Blood. Alright, this is from 1990. This is Bloody Cross, German band with a sound that's kind of a crossover sound, a little bit of punk hardcore in the attitude and in the execution, not necessarily in the sound. Just pure thrash metal, very raw. Kind of reminds me of like Living Death or maybe early Razor, the Canadian band Razor. Just has that kind of rawness to it, that guttural, pure, nasty, raw thrash metal sound. So these guys are, I don't think this, they were on a pretty obscure label, Grand Slam. So I'm pretty sure I'll probably throw a clip of these guys in here because I think I can get away with that one. So let's try it. There you go, Bloody Cross, and the name of that song, God Hates It. So there you go. All right, next up, keeping this going because I do have quite a few releases here. These guys also released, I think it was 3 albums and an EP, or it's a demos. This is Blood Feast, Bloody Cross, Blood Feast. And this is from 1987. This was released on New Renaissance Records. This is one I originally purchased on vinyl. Back when I was in college, I had a buddy who was a radio DJ, did a metal show, and New Renaissance Records just sent us a stack of records to play on the show. And one of the records in there was, the two I remember most, was a band called Civicus, Civicus? I remember them so well, I forgot the name. And then, anyhow, that band was a very clean, Cerebus, that's what it was. It was Cerebus, and they had a very clean, straightforward heavy metal sound, great vocals, really liked that band. But the other one was Blood Feast. This is just, it's musically, again, kind of like the Bloody Cross. It has the punk vibe to it in the delivery, but it's definitely not punk. It's just thrash metal. Raw, very primitive recording. Of course, when you were listening to this back in 1987, it wasn't about the recording. You weren't looking for a pure sonics, you were looking for pure aggression. And that's what you get out of here. Like I said, it had released probably 3 albums and an EP, all of which I have on CD. And despite the appearance of the upside down cross and they never really were like, like a Venom musically or lyrically. So don't let that scare you off into checking them out. So I'm going to just go ahead and give this one a shot too. This is the title track, Killing for Pleasure. So there you go, Killing for Pleasure by Blood Feast. This next band I think is great. Back in the late 1990s, early 2000s, thrash metal was just a dirty word. There were no thrash bands, and the bands that were playing thrash, say for a band like Overkill and a handful of others, a lot of bands weren't playing thrash metal. I mean, That includes bands like, you know, Creator, who are still around, but they were trying their hand at industrial and all kinds of weird stuff, you know. But there were some new bands still out there doing it. And Massacre Records was trying to open up a new label to resurrect the thrash metal sound. Then they opened up this label called Gutter Records. But before doing that, they had signed a band called Blackend. And this is their 1999 album, their second album. Obviously, Blackend got their name from the Metallica song. And this band's sound is definitely inspired by Metallica, Injustice for All era Metallica, that more progressive Metallica sound. A little bit of Testament, you know, very tight musicianship, fantastic guitar solos, hooky songs, crunchy rhythms and riffs, fiery axe work. It's everything you'd want in a thrash metal band. And this is 1999. There just wasn't anybody doing this style of music in 1999. But these guys were, Ultimatum was, and another band that I'm going to show you were. And all these bands, Blackend, Ultimatum, and the other band I'm going to show you, we're all part of that revival that Massacre Records were trying back in 1999-2000. So check out Blackend, Mental Game Messiah. Like I said, this is their second album. They had 3 albums total before they split up. So check it out. Next up is Bloodlust. Bloodlust. Lots of bands starting with blood. I'm obsessed with blood. But this band, unlike, you know, the other blood bands I showed, aren't raw and guttural. They're more walking the line between power metal and thrash metal. And when I say power metal, I'm talking US style 80s power metal. You know, Metal Church, Vicious Rumors, Malaya Rage, that kind of thing. Abattoir, Angers, who else what I'm thinking of? Heretic, Reverend, that kind of stuff. That's what these guys, very clean vocals. This particular version here is the 2 album on 1 CD, if I can get the CD open. And it has Guilty as Sin and Terminal Velocity. Now this band had 2 different vocalists, and the vocalist on the second album was Steve Gaines, who was also in Abattoir, and also has a new band called Anger is Art, which is also a great thrash band. And if I didn't show them in the A of thrash metal, A through Z, I should have. So there you go. Anyhow, this is from 1985. Was the terminal? Excuse me. 1985 was Guilty as Sin. Name of the vocalist, who I'm forgetting the original guy. Guy Lord. Clean vocals, kind of that Agent Steel style vocals. Check it out. It's Metal Blade Records, but I'm just going to give it a shot because this is great stuff. This is Bloodlust. So there you go, a little Bloodlust for you. A little different than a lot of the other stuff. The other stuff, a lot of the earlier stuff I've shown in this video is much more extreme. Like I said, I love the variety that you can get in thrash and traditional heavy metal. So, Bloodlust. Next up, what do we got here? This is yes, do this one. This is one of the bands I was talking about being on Gutter Records back in the late 90s, 1999, 2000. This is I'm gonna mix it up. I have both their albums here. This is The State of Insanity on Gutter Records. This is I like this part. Chicken. This is I can't see the name of the album. The Language of Hate. And I cannot remember for the life of me which album was first. I'm pretty sure Land of Hate was first. This is, I think, released on Pavement Records. And this is just, I believe, the second album on Gutter Records. And this is, again, some very raw guttural thrash metal. This is, you know, heavily inspired by the German Teutonic thrash metal bands, Creator, Sodom Destruction, Accuser, those kind of bands. And if you're into that style of music, definitely should check out Blood Rain Angel. Like I said, another one of those bands like Blackend and Ultimatum that were trying to play thrash metal in a time when thrash metal was considered a dirty word. So, Blood Rain Angel. Okay, next up, what's playing in the background? This is Betrayal, California thrash metal band. with a vocalist who's kind of hearing me. He's kind of got a clean, almost punk style, crossover style, but the music, not crossover really in the slightest. This band was, the main guitar player in this band was Marcus Colin. And Marcus came out of a band also out of California called Martyr. Martyr was a crossover band, and then they formed Betrayal. This being their first album, Renaissance by Death. The last song on this album, Plead the Blood, was actually a song that was Martyr had recorded as a demo and ended up being on the first Betrayal album. Great stuff. I really enjoy this band. This album that's playing in the background, however, is their second album. A little tighter, a little better musicianship on their second album. Thanks to new guitar player Bob McHugh, who was added on along with Marcus Colin. Great guitar player. My copy actually happens to be autographed by Bob McHugh, who came to see an Ultimatum gig when we played out in California. So again, both albums great. And I also showed this. I've never seen another one of these. This is one of those singles. Remember the singles back in the 80s and the early 90s? I've never seen this Betrayal one ever again. But it has an interview. It has the song Fear Be Gone off of the first album. But then it also has a song called Fallen Deceived from the first album, but it's an industrial remix of it, which it's very cool actually. I kind of like it. It's one of the nice things about these cassette singles and EPs where you can get the oddball things that aren't on the album. That's what you got going on here. Really like Betrayal. Playing in the background the whole time, so not going to play a clip, but check them out. And they are a Christian band too. So if you're into their lyrics are a little dark. You're not your typical Striper rock for the rock kind of lyrics. But they deal a lot with occultic stuff. So, but they are a Christian band. So anyhow. Next up, this is Anthrax vocalist. You know I said I wasn't going for Anthrax, but I am going to show Belladonna. This is his first solo album after leaving Anthrax. Anthrax claimed that he wanted to play Journey kind of style stuff. Belladonna has something to prove here, and he released his first self-titled album, which is called Belladonna. This is on Mausoleum Records back in 1995. He actually released 3 solo records. Second one, it's awful. I mean, love Joey. When he was not in Anthrax and he was kind of doing nothing, him and I were actually interacting back and forth on the internet. I'm sure there's a memory from Adam now, but I actually have a couple letters. He wrote me, handwritten letters in the mail. I actually have his third CD, a demo version of it that he hammered a note on me telling me how much he hoped I liked it and everything. And his third album is good. I should have grabbed it to show it, but I didn't. I don't know why. It was actually just called 3. You know what? I'm just going to cut it real quick here. I'm going to run over and grab it. Okay, I'm back. So this was the second album, Spells of Fear. Horrible. It's just one of my least favorite albums of all time. However, I'm a huge Belladonna fan, so got to keep it in the collection. This is from 1998. Definitely with a departure in style for him. I don't know. I just don't care for it. Maybe somebody else does. But the third album was good. This is called 303. And this is self-released demo CD. I don't think it was ever mass-produced. This copy was sent to me directly by Joey. It's good stuff. I'm not sure what the song they put on here. I haven't played this one in a while, so I don't know. I'll decide real quick, and I'm going to throw a clip of Belladonna 3 on here. So there you go, that's a clip from Belladonna 3. And like I said, this album, if you ever see it anywhere, definitely worth picking up, especially if you're an Anthrax fan. Good, straightforward, speed metal, heavy metal, I'd even say thrash metal in parts. Okay, next up, let's see what we got going on over here. Getting to the bottom of the pile here. Getting there, sorry it's taking so long. This is an Italian band. This band's been around since the 80s, but they don't really have a whole lot of releases out other than mostly demo material. Their first full-length album that I know about is on Retroactive Records, and this is The World Hates Me. And this band is very unique sounding. I have no way else of describing them. You need to just check them out. They're melodic, they're heavy, they thrash at times, but they also do a lot of straightforward metal, and they experiment a bit. Very cool band. Like I said, they were, if I didn't say it, they were a Megadeth tribute band, and I actually think they do a Megadeth song on this album. They do Darkest Hour. Very, very cool. Shoot, I should just throw a clip of Darkest Hour in here. Nah, I'll throw an original in here. We'll just throw an original when I get to it. This is their second album, Our Existence. This is on Rox Records. And the original release actually has, this one is one of the original ones, was a 2 CD release. And the second CD came with one of their early demos. This is the Soft Fail System demo. 4-song demo. Was a bonus disc that came with the original pressing pre-orders for the Our Existence. And I actually think Our Existence is a little bit better than The World Hates Me. But it's also a hair more melodic, less thrashy. Still metal, still heavy, but just less thrashy. But still, I'm going to throw a clip in here because I do have permission, YouTube, from Rox Records to include a clip of this. And yeah, I'll figure out which song I'm going to play. But this is going to be a clip from Borders, Our Existence. There you go. Borders, Our Existence on Rox Records. I think this is a 2013 release. I believe it was released digitally in 2012 by the band, and then by Rox Records in 2013. And that's, I believe, all they have out of those 2 albums. So, and both highly recommended. All right, and then last band up. This is going to be kind of a, like I did on the last one. I did a, Accuser discography almost, and this is going to almost be the same thing. This is one of my favorite thrash metal bands, starting with B. Been a fan since I bought their. Actually, I've been a fan since I heard them on the it was the East Coast Metal compilation, and then picked up. Oops, wrong album. Their first album, Avalanche. There was a pile of CDs just fell over. Anyhow, this is Extraction from Mortality. Awesome thrash metal band. This, I don't care who you are. You know, these guys get accused of, being another striper band. Come on, these guys are awesome. This is what thrash metal should sound like. Raw, guttural, heavy, fast hooks, insane guitar solos, some experimentation. There's a song on here called DYSPHORIC, I believe it is. It has some female operatic vocals on it. There's a cover of U2 on here. No, that's on the second album. There's also a kind of a novelty song called Stress on here. It's kind of got a little bit of a punk vibe to it. This album is just awesome, and I know I'll get a copyright strike for playing this, but I'm going to play it anyhow. There you go, Believer, Unite. Their second album, which I love just as much as the first album. This is Sanity Obscure. This album was released on REX in the States, and I believe it was released by Road Racer and Road Runner, one of the two, over in Europe. And if I'm not mistaken, these guys toured with, might have been Bolt Thrower and Carcass is who they were touring with. I'm not 100% positive for this album out in Europe. But this album's awesome. Again, this one was released on CD and vinyl. I only have the CD on both these, actually. I wish I had the vinyl. Regardless, great album. One of my favorite amongst all the ones I've shown in this video. And then their third album, this is Dimensions. And there's two different covers on this one. This was the REX cover, and this is your was it Roadrunner cover. Both of them, you know, fairly obscure, oddball, you know, and there's nothing weird about them. But it's a little more techy now. Whereas, you know, this one was, again, pure thrash, although this one does have the U2 cover on it called Like a Song. This one was a little more techy, a little more digital sounding, and of course, this being the early 90s, that experimenting with the digital sound was, you know, just coming into play. There is a really long, progressive song on here called The Trilogy of Knowledge. Awesome. But my favorite song on here is probably No Apology. It's just a pure thrasher. And it's just, you know, it's just Believer. So anyhow, this was the last album they released for a while, although I do also have this I thought I'd show. This is the Stop the Madness, which is an anti-drug single. This is a promo thing. There's actually a PSA, a public service announcement from Believer on here, anti-drug public service announcement. And then, of course, the song Stop the Madness was about drug use and how it was killing people. And then also on here is Like a Song. And then they actually broke up for a while, and they did get back together, and I didn't pull those out. I probably just should since I'm sitting right next to them. And they've since recorded 2 albums for Metal Blade Records. Changed the sound. It's definitely not thrash metal anymore. It's more of a progressive metal. Still heavy, still aggressive. Still, you can still tell it's Believer, but it's not much thrash. It's more progressive. And this is Gabriel. And then the follow-up to that is Transhuman. And neither one of these albums have the same kind of Christian vibe that the first 3 albums had. These are more, I don't know even what the worldview is on these things or what the lyrical themes is on this thing. I like these 2, but I absolutely love these 2. So there you go. I mean, like I said, it's Believer, so I pretty much like anything they've done so far, but these things are just drop dead awesome. So that's their whole catalog right there. That's everything they put out. So there you go. Thrash metal, A through Z, and that's the letter B. So hope you discovered some bands you hadn't heard of. Maybe there's a few bands you think I should have included that I didn't include. Definitely didn't include every band that had a B and it was thrash metal. You know, I there's not enough time in the day. So hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up if you did. Thumbs down if you didn't. Subscribe. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. God bless. Stay strong.
This is Kurt Bachman from Believer. Almost 2 million American teenagers use illicit drugs. The facts are well documented. Our nation, our neighbors, and our children have all become victims of drug abuse. Drugs are systematically destroying the very structure of our society. The fact is, it's more than just saying no, it's your life. For more information, call 1-800-USA-2525 or contact your local substance abuse center. Don't waste the brain God gave you. Use it and help stop the madness.
Think about it. Thrash metal, A through Z.